Yo, what is up, guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off an insanely broken synchro variant that allows you to make it so your opponent cannot even respond to this card's effect, and then your opponent literally cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh for the rest of the turn, and it negates everything that they've got, which I know it sounds OP because it definitely is. But yo, if you guys are excited about the new Yu-Gi-Oh changes for 2020, yo, drop a like on this video because I'm kind of curious to know how you guys feel about the new Exceed and Synchro variants here. And I feel like Synchro's really just got way more broken, like out of control, because of all the new support. But you know, I'm tired of seeing all these blue cards. I want to see the white cards. But anyways, basically what it comes down to is all you need to pull off this combo is just your standard make a soul, which a lot of times you can use Neo Space Connector, you can literally go for a Vion, there's a lot of other cards, Armageddon Knight, there's a lot of different ways to go ahead and summon a soul. That's all you need to do in this, and then you're going to go completely off, draw a bunch of cards, and then again, your opponent cannot respond to this card once it activates its effect. Anywhere during this combo, if your opponent does happen to have a hand trap, yeah, maybe they can stop it, but once it goes off, your opponent is going to be pretty much out of luck over here. So basically what it comes down to is being able to go ahead and summon the King Calamity, which you guys will see here very soon. And the guy will rage quit over here, but we got a couple other duels. Some of these, well, one of them, the guy does try to put up a fight, but it's towards the end of the video, but it's pretty cool. Anyways, nonetheless, here's what makes this combo so good. What we're actually utilizing is Chaos Goddess to bring back Librarian, and then on top of that we obviously have the SLAYDRA Archfiend, which is summoned with the Ultimate Token, which this card was not playable honestly before. So because of the new ruling, look at this, we have all 6 of the monster zone filled up with synchros. But what's more important is look at this, you can't tell me that this is not broken. I mean, look at this, he's got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 cards in a hand and a complete board, and on top of that he just drew another card, and we summon a hot red dragon Archfiend King Calamity. So what this card does is it makes it so when this card is synchro summoned, you can activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards. Literally just cannot activate cards. Also, cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. And then your opponent can't even activate cards or effects in response to this effect's activation. And then on top of that, because it's not enough, when it destroys something, they get to you get to deal damage equal to that monster's attack. And then because it's not enough, if this card is destroyed in its owner's possession, you can target a level 8 or lower Dark Dragon Synchro monster and then just special summon it. But Chaos Goddess can keep on bringing things back, and you guys will see these in these other duels. But that's like the go-to setup over here. Basically, just summon the King Calamity. You have 9 cards. Like, you can't tell me that that's like reasonable at all. Anyways, let's go and watch some of these other duels. Well, this one looks like did we break this one? What happened? I don't know what happened on that one, but nonetheless, this one's going to be against Dark Magician. A lot of the plays will be kind of like wombo comboing your opponent. I mean, to pull that off and your opponent not quitting, it's going to be a pretty amazing feature. But nonetheless, again, the basic core concept is just go ahead and make a soul, get your Shrew into the graveyard, go ahead and make power tool, reveal 3 of the DDRs, and if you draw one of them, well, you just activate it anyways. Whatever card that you get added to your hand is just another plus. So we're going to go ahead and use number 60, bringing back the Summoner Monk, which will then allow us to go ahead and Phoenix Blade and just bring out the Ferret, which lets you go ahead and go off with your combo. Now in this instance, we also see Bow of the Goddess, which honestly you don't even need. It's just kind of disrespect to go ahead and make it to your opponent. So you can make it so your opponent can't activate a lot of other cards because you can instantly just go ahead and negate those effects in the first place. So, once again, we're going to go ahead and see Librarian drawing some cards, and we got the double star Shaman over here, and that's going to give you that ability to make it so you can spell summon a level 4, up to 4 level 2 non-tuner monsters from your hand or graveyard, but it's usually just Doppel, and then their effects are negated, but it doesn't really matter over here. And then once again, Chaos Goddess allows us to go ahead and bring out that additional card, which helps out, obviously, for the combo. So Ultimate Token over here. And on top of that, like, the amount of things that you can do in the Synchro deck right now are just out of control. I really feel like maybe it was a bad idea, and I'm curious to know, just from this replay alone, what do you guys think of the new Chaos? Well, it's more so just the Synchro decks in general. I think they've just gotten way out of control, but at the same time, if you look at how links have gone, like, again, your opponent doesn't get to do anything. Obviously, yeah, he could definitely OTK him, but I think he was kind of giving his opponent some mad disrespect here, also showing off the power of the Chaos Goddess, just to bring back this card. And also, If you really wanted to, maybe you can fix up the extra deck. I mean, you basically go through everything, but there really is only one option for AzneyesWhitedragon to kind of go ahead and come out with, of course, bringing out that monster. But you can technically activate this card's effect more than once. It's not just like a effect where it's like once per duel. No, you can keep on bringing out extra cards. And when this card's on the field, they can't actually target for attacks or by card effects. And on top of that, I didn't even get into the other cards that will stop your opponent from stopping your combo, which I'll get into in a moment over here. I just want to go ahead and show off some of these replays over here. So this is one, this guy's actually playing one of the newer cards, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably already heard about, is the Evening Crescent and Autumn Shower. I think a lot of people are kind of testing this card out, and while I did check out you guys' feedback, this card is absolutely amazing, but one thing it doesn't offer is sometimes people can chain block, and therefore you couldn't activate this card at the right time, whereas Valor would be more viable. But pretty much the most important part is that potential to get extra burn damage, whereas Valor doesn't really allow that. And on top of that, if you are playing obviously a zombie deck or any deck that can utilize winds for whatever reason, this could be an excellent card and a replacement for the most part with effect Valor. But nonetheless, Bow the Goddess is indeed out once again, and then of course we're going to be able to special summon all of those cards courtesy of the Rescue Ferret, which are all going to give us additional cards. And then we're going to go and see Formula and then draw the double off this. Plus, in this instance, we have a Monster Reborn, so you know it's not going to end well for this guy over here. He actually already has that Droll in the graveyard, which is quite nasty. But anyways, we got the World Chalice, going to go ahead and add that card. And that will always give you your spell card for, of course, your ultimate token to summon your Scar Light Red Dragon Archfiend, which is pretty important for the combo. And now he's going to go ahead, and I think he thought that this would stop it, so he's going to discard this card, target one of those face-up monsters, and negate its effect until the end of the turn. So he's going to go ahead and chain that. So that won't get the draw, but we've got another copy of Formula that's going to go ahead and go right into this card. And at this point, your opponent literally can't do anything because they cannot activate cards. So that's pretty nasty over here. But he does kind of survive for a little bit longer than I would say most players. But the last duel over here, save the best for last for you guys, which is the guys playing the Unchained, which I think is a really decent archetype. And they just got new support announced, so the deck will probably be a little bit better very, very soon indeed. But nonetheless, we got another of the Evening Crescent. Let me know, guys, how you feel about this card. Do you guys think it's good so far? I haven't honestly done any playtesting myself in the past couple days. I've been just really going through all of these replays for you guys, because with Master Rule 2020, Synchro is going to be very, very powerful. If not, I think it honestly has potential to be tier 1. Like, as far as like a go first deck, I mean, what do you do to this? You can't respond to this. Once this card comes out, you cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Your opponent cannot literally activate cards for the rest of the turn. And obviously, you have a board. You're pretty much going to be set up to go ahead and just give your opponent that handshake. But the last duel over here, this guy's playing Unchained. He's playing True Draco, super anti-meta, and he's also playing artifacts. Like, and this guy, I see this card. I didn't actually notice this until the guy's playing the Red Eyes B-Dragon, so you know he's going to go ahead and try to summon that Dragon of Red Eyes. And that card is super OP too. I feel like any deck that can throw that out, in addition to like anywhere from like 2 to 3 negates, you basically have won the duel. And that card is so consistently easy to go ahead and make. In any Assault variant, you can instantly just go ahead and use Assault plus any other card after going off. Make a Dark Law, which can just absolutely obliterate most decks. Like a Dark Law plus Dragon of Red Eyes plus any extra negation. If you can go for Bow of the Goddess, obviously, yeah. That basically just is a GG as well. But for the most part, I think a lot of people might be interested in running Lightning Storm in the next upcoming, you know, patch of the game, maybe when we get the new ban list. But again, I still think that the problem is that, well, that one card that makes it so you can't even do anything. So, well, I guess that's not going to be helping out too much. But nonetheless, Fiber once again, I'm going to go ahead and activate its effect, bring back some extra cards, go for the Double Star Shaman. And I think you guys understand the play from now, but I do want to go ahead and let this replay play out, and then I'll give you guys the deck profile in case any of you guys do want to go ahead and play this deck yourself. So, we got the Doppel War, bring back those tokens. It's cool to see Doppel back in the game, but the reason why is because a lot of times you would clog up your zone because you had to have those specific zones for the Link monster, but now you don't really need to do that at all. And then on top of that, you guys didn't get to see this card in action here, but this is Scrap Iron Signal. This is honestly a win harder card. I've already mentioned I think impermanence is overall just better, but this makes it so as long as you control a synchro monster that requires a synchro monsters as material, you get to negate that effect and then go ahead and reset this card face down. So you can technically use this card again and again and again, which is obviously a very, very good effect. Now, the Unchained are actually pretty good. They have a good matchup against a lot of different like boss monster variant decks, and that is simply due to them being able to kind of use your opponent's monsters as material. Now, he gives his opponent over here another chance just to kind of see, I guess, what's going to happen. So he's going to go ahead and use that as material. Unfortunately, Ripperoni Pepperoni, that card over there. But BLS is still a very strong card. Honestly, against a lot of different decks, they just can't deal with it just because of its attack. It's just simply too high. But Chaos Goddess, once per turn, you're going to be able to select a level 5 or higher Dark. And he bounces that card back, which is kind of a bad idea because now you can bring back the Red Hot Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. And when this card goes away, well, it has that effect. He kind of messed up over here, but Chaos Goddess really allows a lot of these plays to go ahead and go off. So it's a really cool deck variant over here. And I do like it because there's a card, I believe it was secret rare. It was like $30 as soon as it came out. Then it dropped really hard. I actually really liked it for its artwork though. But it definitely has not seen any play in quite some time. But once again, he's going to go ahead and make another Unchained. But I'm sure he's probably... Oh gosh, what the heck is that card? Oh, that's the Dragon Red Eyes. Okay. But sometimes with this deck, you run out of targets because, well, depending on which one that you're playing. I've also seen people try variants of this with Extravagance, so they just kind of run out of the extra deck because, well, they're playing True Dracos as well. But this guy's also playing the Artifacts, which is a nasty little mix-up over here. Like, he's super anti-meta. He draws into the Ash Blossom. He's going to go ahead and now set the Sanctum over here. But I don't think he has... Actually, hold on. I didn't actually check because I watched the replay here. No, he didn't have the one to pop over here. So... moral talk over there. But he did have Scythe, not that it really matters because, well, his card's going to attack and that's game anyways. But anyways, now that you guys have seen the gameplay of this deck, now I think that you could definitely run a shorter deck variant if you wanted to with like Called by the Grave. I feel like a lot of these cards like Scrap Iron Signal are kind of a win harder. I would really recommend you guys to probably try out running Impermanence over this card because, again, most of the time, once you make your board, if you go ahead and set a Permanence, you win anyways. This card, even though you can get this card's effect multiple times, it's just, again, a win harder card. Card that I didn't get to go ahead and go over, and I did want to mention that the magical mid breaker field makes it so your opponent can't really respond to your stuff. So it's during each player's main phase. You activate this card at the start of your main phase 1 or 2, and then during each player's main phase 1, monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by their opponent's card effects. And also, neither player can target monster their opponent controls. So pretty much you activate this, you go off, and then you go ahead and slap on that resort after, and they're like, okay, now we're good to target, right? But it doesn't really matter because your opponent literally cannot activate Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But this card over here also, Burning Soul, makes it so if you control a level 8 or higher Synchro monster, you get to add one card from your graveyard to your hand except for itself, and then immediately after this effect resolves, you get to Synchro summon one Synchro monster using this card is material, and then your opponent cannot target Synchro monsters on the field with card effects. But again, it pretty much doesn't matter because you're going to make this and your opponent can't respond anyways. This is just another surprise factor. If you guys want to go ahead and not run this and like this card, I totally get it. It's definitely viable to go ahead and play it like that as well. But anyways, onwards with the deck profile. So we got the Black Luster over here, and then we've got Destrudo. We got 3 copies of Mally, 3 copies of Thrasher, 3 copies of Agent. And then we've got Greffer, Zephyros, Armageddon Knight, 3 copies of Vion, 3 copies of Neo Space Connector, Summoner Monk, Ferret, 2 copies of the Blue Mountain Butter Sprite, 3 copies of Junk Forward, 2 copies of the Palladion. A lot of these are just kind of special summon fodder. And then we have the Steam the Cloak, we got the Aqua Dolphin, 1 copy of Doppelwar, 1 Jet Synchro, 1 Glow Up Bulb, 3 Allures, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 3 copies of Creeping Darkness. Let's go ahead and search out whatever key card that you need for your combo. And then we've got Foolish Burial, we've got Monster Reborn, and then World Legacy Succession. Then we've got 3 copies of Burning Soul, 1 copy of Set Rotation, 3 copies of DDR, 1 copy of Phoenix Blade, 1 Living Fossil, 1 Overdone Burial, and then we've got the Sword of Deep Seated over here. This is just another card what lets you, if you need to, if you wanted to play 2 of Soul, it kind of lets it be more consistent, but it just lets you go ahead and reset this card and place it on top of your deck. So you can almost technically not deck out depending on how you use this. Then we got Sparta Resort, and then this card we already went over, and then the Scrap Iron Signal. For the extra deck though, we got the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity over here. Of course, Soken, Scar, Chaos Goddess, Power Tool, Coral Dragon, Librarian, In the World Chest Miko, 2 copies of Formula, 1 copy of Celestial Double Star Shaman. Then when number 60, Bow the Goddess, Sold, and Needle Fiber. And then I think these were cards he was maybe trying out or just actually side decking, because you could definitely run Nibiru in the main or side, and Lightning Storm, and then Dark Ruler No More. Like, all these cards are super important right now in the game. But I gotta give a big shout out to Allan TCG for actually hooking me up with this deck profile as well as his build for this. And I'll leave him down below if you guys want to go ahead and check his channel out as well. But I like it. I like that Chaos Goddess is seeing play more than anything. But honestly, yeah, activating this, your opponent, literally, it says on the card, your opponent cannot activate their cards, their card effects, and they can't respond to it. Literally, it says your opponent cannot activate cards. Like, that's so stupid. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you are new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on when we upload more broken Yu-Gi-Oh combos, like, of course, your opponent cannot activate cards or respond to this. That's crazy stuff. But if you guys want to send me other replays, feel free to go ahead and do so, just like my boy Allan did. Send it to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.